All right, so we have here the kind of oddball phenotype of the Peter pepper. I'm not entirely sure if it was a genetic issue that made them grow like this, or if it was some peculiar growth conditions, because my plant, which was growing in my Aerogarden, was badly infested with aphids. And it was a constant battle with various different methods of keeping them under control. The one thing I didn't try was to get some ladybugs. But anyway, so we're going to go ahead and cut this bad boy open and see how it smells and how it tastes. With any luck, I'll get my lovely wife Rochelle to help me try out this pepper. So I just cut the top off like that. I'm going to be saving the seeds, even though it's a peculiar phenotype. These did not turn out like we expected a Peter pepper to grow. It's still kind of an interesting pepper. It kind of reminds me of a gnarled ghost pepper or something. But yeah, so you can see that it started to get a little soft. It basically sat on my counter for a few days before I actually got around to doing this little video. In fact, I wasn't even going to do a video to start with. Kind of a last minute decision. So let's cut it open here. It looks very similar to boot jalokia, or even some of the Carolina Reapers that are out there. It has a lot of similarities. Kind of funky shape, a little bit oily looking on the interior, thin walls, not much by way of placenta, only a handful of seeds. Let's see how it smells here. It smells kind of floral. Maybe a little bit like, it kind of reminds me of the Chinese five-color in aroma, which is not really a good sign. So anyway, I'm going to take a few minutes here to dig the seeds out, and I'm going to be cutting the placenta out of this, and then we'll do a quick taste test. This will probably be my shortest taste test video yet. See if I can get you a close up there. All right, let's go ahead and do a taste test, shall we? So here we are with the gnarled up phenotype of the Peter pepper. I'm sure that lots of my fellow pepperheads are familiar with what a Peter pepper should look like. That's not quite it. In any case, I grew these in the Aerogarden. I'm not sure why they turned out the way they did, but we're gonna give them a quick taste test anyway. So yeah, I think they're fairly spicy. We're going to skip the placenta. Let's do a little thin slice today. Okay. Tiny little sliver, as you see here. Shall we?
I felt the spice immediately. It barely touched my tongue.
It's actually pretty tasty.
It's really sweet.
Yeah, it's like quite a bit of fruit. So there's a little zing of heat right away, and then it kind of builds and spreads. I don't find it unbearable. It reminds me of the heat level of the of some of the, like the Brazilian starfish. It's about the same heat level as that. It's quite tasty.
The instant heat made me nervous, though.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this could be a journey into the depths of pain.
So okay, let's talk about the flavor a little bit. As far as the heat goes, like we said, instant little bit of a sting, and then kind of a wash. Wash my tongue very quickly. A little bit of heat across the roof.
It's mostly on the front of my tongue.
Yeah, I would say front, maybe sides, and then a little bit on the roof, not a whole lot. Flavor, quite sweet. Like, I would say...
It's tasty.
Yeah, it's quite tasty. It's definitely like some of the other, what is it, the baccatum, I think is the capsicum. I'll have to double check that. But in any case, things like the Brazilian starfish have that kind of fruity flavor. And I think this is supposed to be chinense, which is where your buchalokias and your Carolina Reapers.
Most of the dumpster fire ones.
The dumpster fire peppers.
This is the best of the dumpster.
Definitely.
Fire.
So whatever crosses gave us these peppers, quite good. I'm gonna have another little piece actually. So all right, flavors. A bit fruity. Definitely noticeable fruitiness. There's a little, right in the very beginning, right when you get the first little sting, there's a bit of bitterness. But it's kind of like, it's reminiscent to the bitterness that you get from like a green bell pepper. And then a burst of sweet, fruity flavor. And then kind of a wash of heat that sort of goes to the back. I would definitely use this in like a chili or like I'm thinking like a bruschetta or something, like a spicy...
If you want to do bruschetta, it'd be spicy.
Salsa.
I did not like how they grew. I don't know if we did something wrong. They didn't seem like they were very good producers.
First of all, I was growing it in the Aerogarden. It was hydroponic, which I am no ace at. So some of the problems we had with the growth definitely have to do with my own lack of skill with hydroponics. That said, it did take longer to fruit than the other peppers that I had in the same...
Longer.
Yeah, way longer. I mean, about months than the other peppers in the same Aerogarden. So, all things considered equal...
Well, and did we give your parents some plants to grow in their garden? And
yes.
They didn't survive.
They didn't survive. So, this, where I can't remember where I got the seeds from. I'll see if I can look it up and I'll post it as text in the video if I have time. I don't know where they came from, but in any case, this particular strain that I have may be just inferior to what other people have. So if anybody else out there has really good Peter peppers and has some seeds that you want to send me, I would be more than happy to give them a try and do another review video on the flavor and everything else. As far as the heat level is concerned, compared to other peppers is concerned, it's, I would say, in the same family of heat level as maybe a cayenne pepper, but it's a different heat profile. You know, the way cayenne peppers burn versus this kind of burn is a little different. It's, I would say, based on my second bite that I had, it's a little hotter than the Brazilian starfish and other peppers of that ilk. It's making me salivate more than other peppers, which is weird. Not all peppers make me salivate a lot. So this one has something in it that makes me salivate, which is annoying. I wouldn't use these raw by themselves, and I probably could make a good sauce out of it, like mixing with some fruit. It would blend very well with fruit.
If it was finely minced, you could mix it in something raw, like maybe mix it in at the end, like you cook a salsa, mix that in, like don't cook it, but mix it in, finely minced. That could be yummy.
Yeah, that could be good. Yeah.
I could see that working.
I probably will try growing these again, even though they were difficult, but they do taste good enough that I would be willing to try them again. I'd be willing to give them a go.